WECT News begins now with breaking news.
Crews still on the scene battling a massive fire tonight at a neighborhood grocery store and shopping center. That fire sparked after the 6:30 hour and has been burning for hours.
It started as just some smoke, then burst into massive flames. This was the scene at Everybody's Supermarket on Greenfield Street in Wilmington. And we have just learned from a tweet from the Wilmington Fire Department that firefighters are having a very difficult time putting this fire out because of low water pressure. We understand that CFPUA is on the scene to assess that situation. WECT's Alex Garino was on the scene shortly after the fire broke out.
Yeah, Alex, I know you've been reporting since, I guess, just after 8 o'clock or so. Have you learned whether anybody was hurt yet?
We're not hearing of any injuries here. We do know that people were inside the church next to this supermarket when the fire did break out. We were told that a youth Bible study and a men's Bible study were in there. They thankfully did get out, but when we got here, like you said, just actually before 8 o'clock, the fire was just starting to show flames from this first corner, and it's really hard to see right now because it is so smoky because there are 3 different ladder trucks going at this fire, but we watched it travel almost to the end of this Village Plaza right here. I don't know if you could have just hear those little pops that almost sounded like fireworks. We've been told that there were propane tanks in this supermarket, and earlier we heard a lot of those little pops, kind of explosions, saw some really dark heavy smoke, and we actually had to move out of the way from where we were across the street because it was just getting pretty tough to breathe. But we've already seen this community kind of come together. A lot of people saying that this is a pillar of this area, really a place that people can walk to get groceries, not just groceries, a restaurant, a barber shop, a beauty supply store, and a church that just opened very recently ago. But we see lots of different crews and community members carrying water down to these firefighters. You can actually see that right behind me, a whole line of people just helping. But said that this has been a historic part of this community for more than 30 years now, and it's been difficult to watch it just completely be destroyed.
All right, so Alex, I want to reiterate something that you said, talking about all of the smoke, just to give folks a sense of how intense this fire is. You and your photographer had to actually shut down because the smoke was so intense, right?
Yeah, Fran, we've seen crews battling from the ground on and off throughout the night. You can see them now. They're going at it with the hose from the ground, as well as 3 different ladder trucks. But yeah, we have seen crews have to completely pull back except for those ladder trucks because of those little explosions that we were seeing, and the smoke and the fire's just so intense. But it's still burning in this corner where we first saw those flames coming from, and it just kind of seems that towards the end of the building we just see flames shooting up as well. But it does seem to be getting a little bit more under control than we've seen. But we will continue to be following this on scene and bring you updates when we have more. Reporting live in Wilmington, I'm Alex Garino. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Alex, and be safe because that smoke can be very, very dangerous. Smoke inhalation happens very quickly.
And with everything inside that grocery store, you really don't know what kind of smoke is coming out. You've got a beauty supply store next door, you've got a restaurant in there, so anything could be burning at the time, and it's always better safe than sorry.
We'll update you a little later on in this newscast. As we mentioned, CFPUA on the scene now to assess why the water pressure is low. We'll check back in with Alex a little bit later.
This is WECT News at 6, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
Today we say together, enough is enough.
The state capitol filled with red today as teachers and supporters march for higher pay and better funding. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Frances Weller. Today's protest happening on the same day as the state legislature starting its annual session. We have team coverage tonight from Raleigh. WECT's John Evans is live outside the legislative building with more from lawmakers on the rally. And Connor Delpreet spent the day among crowds who marched there. Connor, you caught up with some local teachers there.
And it seemed each group of local teachers sort of had a different experience, Fran. Some stayed generally outside the General Assembly looking in, not able to get a seat inside the General Assembly, and others really had a front row seat to talking with some of our legislators, actually getting behind closed doors and talking one-on-one with the likes of Representative Frank Eiler, Representative Deb Butler, and Bill Rabin as well. These, of course, were teachers from New Hanover, Brunswick, and Pender that we walked with today, all given the instructional workday off and chose to spend that day in our state's capital, asking for 1, better pay, 2, more investment inside the classrooms, 3, just more staffing. They feel like they're understaffed and feel like the pressure is falling on their shoulders when they already have quite a stressful job from the start. So we walked with them this morning, some getting here as early as 8 in the morning, decked out in red t-shirts and also carrying signs as well as they marched from Salisbury Street, where the NC Association of Educators first held their rally, all the way down to the General Assembly. And I mentioned that some of the teachers had a sort of a behind-the-scenes look with our legislators. We had 3 former Teachers of the Year from Brunswick County, and the current Teacher of the Year met with Deb Butler and Frank Eiler and told them straight up that they were very honest when it came to what the needs that they had inside the classroom, things of that nature. And after speaking with Brunswick and Pender County teachers today, they told us, frankly, they come away a little frustrated that they didn't get solid dates on when things were coming out in terms of bills and more funding, but they hope that today's rally will be the spark for change.
You know, it's a little frustrating in the fact that, yes, we're all here and we're excited about this and we're hoping we make a difference, but then, you know, are they going to take it to heart and what are they going to do about it and where it's going to go from there?
You know, for us to advocate for our students and advocate for the teaching profession as a whole, we have to be patient as well. But we're also going to do diligence, you know, after today. It's not just about today. So, you know, tomorrow there's action that the 4 of us will take. You know, where that goes from there, we'll keep you updated.
Now, while there's no direct date on when the funding, if or when that funding will come, teachers tell us that they got feedback from these legislators. Not only will they take that feedback and try and implement it in the classrooms, they're also taking some of the sights and sounds, video and pictures they took today from the rally and showing it to their students tomorrow in school. Of course, these teachers go back to work tomorrow. For now, in downtown Raleigh, I'm Connor Delpreet, WECT News.
All right, that's quite a lesson to share. Thanks so much, Connor. Governor Roy Cooper spoke to the teachers at this afternoon's rally. In his budget proposal for the upcoming year, he wants to give teachers an 8% raise on average, up from the 6% they're already slated to get. He said today's rally is not just about teacher pay, it's about real investment in our schools.
We trust you, teachers. And you know what? Now we need to put our money where our trust is.
He went on to say that veteran teachers have been left out of the legislature, and veteran teachers are critical. Lawmakers had finished their session before today's rally began in Bicentennial Park, but they heard the hundreds of teachers that got inside the General Assembly. Our team coverage continues tonight with John Evans, who joins us now live from outside the legislative building. John, were there any problems during the session?
No real problems, Fran. As the House session came to a close, some of the teachers that were in the gallery over the House said boo, and they really didn't want the session to end before some more action was taken. But that's about as really bad as it got, if you really call that bad. No real problems at all that I saw. Everything went pretty swimmingly. All lawmakers wanted to be welcoming. House Speaker Tim Moore recognized the teachers that had made the trip and turned out. All of the members rose to give them a standing ovation, in fact. Lawmakers wanted to appear welcoming, but bottom line, there is disagreement inside the General Assembly. Republicans are praising the spending bill announced on Tuesday. They say it gives teachers a sizable raise of more than 6%. And that the average salary for teachers will be more than $53,000 a year next year. Democrats say, though, that's not enough. They're critical of that proposal and said not all teachers will realize the raises that Republicans are talking about.
Some agencies have been putting some falsehoods out. We're hearing teachers saying, you know, what we're proposing is fake news. What we're proposing is the real news. It's the actual facts of what's going to happen in this budget. And once they learn that they are getting a sizable pay raise, they're happy. They're a lot happier than when they got here.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors when you start pulling with numbers together. Ask a veteran teacher if they've had any pay raise in the last 5 years. They haven't. Governor Cooper's budget allows, on average, an 8% increase, and every teacher will see a raise. The veteran teachers, some of them as much as 15%.
Now, Connor spoke a couple of moments ago about teachers really not knowing when some of the things were going to happen up here in Raleigh moving forward. I can tell you that I got an email not too long ago, and the House calendar for tomorrow here already has a bill that is meant to increase funding for school resource officers. So even though it may not be as far as the teacher raises are concerned and teacher salaries, some of this General Assembly session will take place hitting some of those other issues like school safety and also increasing funding for mental health issues as far as the schools are concerned. We're live in downtown Raleigh. I'm John Evans, WECT News.
Well, local teachers were in Raleigh today. Some of their cars were towed away, then brought back. It happened in the parking lot of the old Kmart in Wilmington. Howard's Towing and Recovery says there's a sign that warns people not to park in the lot. The company says it started towing cars this morning, then realized the cars belonged to teachers. The property manager then told the towing company to bring those cars back. Howard's Towing says all of the towed cars from this morning have been returned to that parking lot. Teachers who couldn't make the trip to the state capitol held their own rally for education. Several gathered outside the New Hanover County Government Center and the county school system's central office. Early college high school teacher Lauren Gray organized the rally. Supporters came in shifts, held signs, and wore red for education. Gray says they're not necessarily mad at local leaders, but want them to know how much they support education across the state. Now, you'll find more of our coverage from today's march and rally in Raleigh on our website, WECT.com, or on the WECT News app. We'll also have more coverage coming up on WECT News at 11.
This is WECT News at 11, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
We're also expecting bitter temperatures, and with the cold and the potential power outages, that is a dangerous combination.
Snow and ice hitting southeastern North Carolina, creating a winter wonderland right now. You're looking at video of big snowflakes in Leland. This was sent to us by viewer Millie Holloman. May look pretty, but it is dangerous out there, especially those roads. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ashley Kozakowski.
And I'm John Evans. Conditions like what you're seeing now, that's why Governor Roy Cooper is asking you to stay off the roads tonight. We've already had reports of a lot of crashes on area roads, and we're keeping you updated with our live team coverage tonight at 11 o'clock. WECT's Connor Del Prete is in Leland, where the snow is coming down more than anywhere else in the area right now.
Yeah, he's seen the best of it, really. And Alex Guarino is out covering the road conditions in Wilmington. Kaylee Tracy in Columbus County with a look at how crews are treating the roads there.
But first, let's get to meteorologist Eric Davis in the First Alert Weather Center. Still tracking the storm tonight. What's the latest on it, Eric?
Yeah, the snow is still coming down, but the heaviest snow and most of the snow, in fact, winding down over the next couple of hours. But keep in mind, even into Friday morning. We'll have the rest of your First Alert forecast in a few moments.
As the freezing rain, sleet, and then snow started to fall, it began in Brunswick County before anywhere else. And that's where some of the heavier snow is still falling. Connor Del Prete is in the Leland area. Now, Connor, you were inland, 7476, made the drive down to the Leland area. What was it like? Those roads still slick and dangerous at this hour?
Oh, absolutely, John. It took us about 45 minutes to get back up here from 7476 to the Leland area. I'm by the diverging diamond now, so you got to stay off those roads. And another reason why you shouldn't be on the roads, no businesses are open except for Save Waffle House. This is the Hardee's right off the diverging diamond, and no one in there from what I can tell. So no one at the Hardee's, no one at any of these businesses around here, so there's really no reason you should be on these roads. I'm going to head over to the diverging diamond now. This has been a big problem area just in terms of it being a confusing pattern, so add snow and ice and some traffic backups, and It's no surprise that there were some problems here today. Brunswick County seeing widespread crashes. Luckily, no major injuries, but the snow continues to come down here. I expect it to remain difficult all evening for drivers and into the morning as the temperatures drop, and some of this could turn into some more dangerous ice underneath. And we did catch up with a man at a gas station earlier today, and he, like many Brunswick County residents, were very surprised at how quickly this snow came into the Brunswick County area earlier today. Take a listen.
Oh man, it's something you don't see very much, and to see it happen this fast, literally I was at the house not just 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, or actually a little bit longer because we left earlier, but about an hour ago, none of this was here. It'd been sleeting all day, but man, it's solid snow now.
Hard-packed snow for sure, and he has a young daughter, 6 years old, who has no school tomorrow, so he says he's going to pack it in, enjoy the snow, and just rest up and not get out on those roads. And for the 11 o'clock, I figured I'd have some fun as well. I have a buddy of ours who joined us all the way from Alaska. They call this summer back out there. He's going to help me out. He made a snowball for me. He's going to toss it to me right here. Thank you very much. And I'm going to throw it right at my photog. Direct hit and a direct toss. Right back to you, John and Ashley.
All right, Connor, seeing those heavy snowfalls again, and the roads, not many people out on the roads tonight, which is a good thing.
A good thing, and they shouldn't be, because they are dangerous, because we did have a lot of that sleet first, and then the snow on top of that, so there's a layer of ice. You'll want to be careful.
No traffic tonight on the MLK Parkway in the city of Wilmington either. And
that's because crews closed the road after several wrecks happened like back to back earlier today, right after that freezing rain started. And WECT's Alex Guarino was on the scene soon after crews made that call. She's still out right near the entrance to MLK in downtown. So Alex, what's it like out there right now?
Well, actually still closed, and we have not seen many cars in the last 30 minutes. About 10 minutes ago, I did see a plow and a salt truck. That's good news, but the snow's coming down so quickly here that they really can't keep up, and most of them are on the highways still anyway. Take a listen to the state's plan from earlier today about how they're treating these roads tonight.
Our first priority is going to be for those major roads. It's about 16,000 miles across the state, about 10,000 miles in eastern North Carolina. And then we'll be shifting over to clearing secondary roads with the other priority of coordinating with emergency management and power companies to make sure they have access to those places that have down power lines.
So like you heard there, first the plan is to take care of those major roads. That's what they're doing right now. We haven't seen except one plow on the secondary roads, but I can't let Connor have all the fun and these live shots. I just want to give you a look here at how much snow there actually is. I mean, I would guess, being from Boston, that's a good almost 4 inches. Unfortunately, not really great snowball snow here, but maybe it will be better for tomorrow. We know we have a lot of people off from school, but for now, live in downtown Wilmington, Alex Guarino, Ashley, John, back to you.
And those snowflakes building up on the camera lens out there too. Well, thanks Alex for that report. The storm creating problems for passengers at Wilmington International Airport. Let's take a live look right now at the arrivals and departures schedule. Delta and American Airlines already canceled the flights out of ILM in the morning. Flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, and LaGuardia up till 7:15 a.m. just are not happening. Set the alarms accordingly. Maybe you'll get a little extra sleep there. 2 arriving flights that were supposed to come in tonight from Atlanta and Charlotte were called off. So it's a good idea to check with your airlines before you leave in the morning.
Nearly all schools have already made a call about classes on Thursday. New Hanover, Brunswick, Pender, Columbus, and Whiteville City schools all closed to students and staff. Bladen County schools, along with UNC Wilmington, Cape Fear Community College, and Brunswick Community College, also closed. You'll find that growing list of school and business closings right now on the WECT News app, along with WECT.com. And we will have a special coverage of this winter storm tomorrow morning on Carolina in the Morning. It will start a half hour earlier, 4:30 a.m., live team coverage of the road and the weather conditions. So start your day bright and early, 4:30 a.m. for Carolina in the Morning. And we're not the only ones getting that taste of winter weather.
The latest as the storm makes its way up the coast. But before we head to break, let's take a look at a pretty fun sight from the winter storm. Edie Center shared this with us. This is her dog Bongo pulling her son Ollie on a sled through the snow in downtown Wilmington. It looks like they are having a lot of fun out there.